Welcome to the Alchemy of Love Mindfulness Training presentation. Within this module, we will be looking at the aspects of pure mind. We will be looking at the mindfulness exercises that were used traditionally within different religious systems to purify our mind. We will start with the Buddhism and then go into traditional Hindu way of looking at the pure mind, and we will touch upon the way that Steiner has seen pure mind and how we could develop this aspect, this quality within ourselves.
Buddha has defined them as right purpose. Within this word right purpose, he's looking into some basics of how do we behave and what we do towards other creatures that live on the planet with us. So right purpose would have things like do not harm physically, mentally or emotionally any other being that lives on the planet Earth. Also, this particular principle that is called right purpose is talking about renouncing violence and finally living compassion as the highest potential of oneself. Steiner has meditated upon these rules and have improved or added some of the thoughts of his own to them, and he called this right purpose right resolves, and he talks about steadfastness, about ability to act meaningful acts, and about meaningful consideration of every act we take. Buddha takes as the second principle right speaking. Now, right speaking within its core hides truthfulness and a refrain from speech that is either false or malicious or harsh or foolish. So as opposed to false speak, a conscious being will be using speech that is truthful, as opposed to malicious speech. Somebody who tries to develop his highest potential will be using speech only if it is good-willed, as opposed to untimely speech or harsh speech. Speech that is controlled will be gentle, and it will be offered to the other person in a timely manner. Foolish speech will be replaced by reasonable, conscious speaking. So the speaking, right speaking, will be speaking with sense, with a meaning. If there is no sense of truthfulness, goodwill, and timeliness, it is always better to stay quiet. The third principle, the Buddha will suggest for the development of one's highest potential is right action. Right action is focusing on the principles of not taking life, of not stealing, or going into any sexual immoralities. Right action, Steiner defined harmonious action with the surrounding, and an action that is done with lasting welfare in mind of others. So right action is another one that needs to be brought into consciousness once we are living our lives consciously. The fourth principle Buddha is mentioning, the fourth path towards enlightenment, is right livelihood. He suggests that it is not benevolent profit from fraud or exploitation. Steiner elaborates on right livelihood and suggests that a hasty life is not a balanced life, and that the life shouldn't be spent in idleness, that life should be taken as an opportunity, and it should always flow with life and with spirit. There should always exist a harmonious flow with life and spirit. Now the fifth Buddha's principle is called right effort. Right effort refers to mental state, to the mind, and within this rightful effort there will be no unhealthy mental states. There would be no anger or exhaustion. There would be no gossiping or feeling of fears. There would be no mental state of anxiety or pettiness. Within this particular rightful effort, there would be, the mind would be pure, in considering its thoughts and its mental states. Steiner adds a couple more things to this rightful effort. He suggests that we should be contemplating only the highest ideas of a human being. We should make an effort to contemplate only the highest ideas, to get inspired by the highest ideas, to actually materialize the highest ideas within our own life or within the life of society we live with. Then the number 6 is rightful awareness. Rightful awareness in Buddhist teaching is the awareness of the body, of sensations, of mind, of thoughts. Is this awakefulness, is this state of remembering the sensations, remembering the way our body functions, and learning from our past experiences. Not living life in a state of unconsciousness, but consciously learning from our experiences. Now this awareness Steiner expands into this effort to learn from life, into this effort to learn from one's experience, into this feeling that experience is our treasure and that we should continuously treasure it. Number 7 is rightful thinking. We will be thinking rightfully. So we'll be thinking thoughts that remind us of the impermanence of this world we are in. We will be thinking thoughts that are of the higher realms than day-to-day mundane problem thoughts. We will be contemplating significant ideas. We'll be contemplating the ways to improve. We will start to understand inner quietness within this principle that is called rightful thinking. Now, through these principles that we were talking about, understanding the rightful purpose, understanding the rightful speech, understanding the rightful action, understanding the rightful livelihood, understanding the rightful effort and rightful awareness, understanding the rightful thinking. There is the 8th one, the 8th rightful meditation goes with these 7 hand in hand. Understanding the art of meditation, we actually start to understand the right purpose and right effort and right awareness. Understanding the effort of silence, the effort of meditation, we will get more courage to practice the rightful speaking and rightful action, or to live within the environment that encourages the rightful livelihood. Right meditation focuses on the reflective thought, on our way of understanding and dealing with problems, with the process of thinking, with the philosophy of life. It then focuses on this single-pointedness of brain and this effort, this training that every meditator will take to learn how to become single-pointed, how to concentrate. And from this concentration, there would be the learning of expansion, of awareness, of consciousness, trying to tap into the consciousness, into the divine, similar consciousness, to the Buddhist point of view that looks into 8 principles of rightfulness. We have a Hindu principle, Jama Nijama, or Yama Niyama, that looks into our emotional darkness or mental abuse or physical mischief that exists within confused minds. One negative thought could lead to another negative thought and become an obsession. We all live through these emotional states where we cannot get rid of negative thoughts, and different philosophers and sages and gurus have developed methods to deal with these negative thoughts, to become an observing presence that actually is conscious of the thoughts, that is in peace with these negative thoughts, and that allow them to slowly vanish from our life. Within these principles of, I'll call them yama and niyama, even though they might be called jhana and nijama, we find the principles of non-violence, non-inflicting pain or hurting anybody by either thought or word or action. The subtlety of this definition is really beautiful, because we are talking not only about not hurting anybody by hitting somebody in its crudest form, but also looking into not inflicting pain or hurting anybody by unconscious words or thoughts that are angry or disturbed. Understanding that thoughts are also an energy form bring us into the subtlety of work with our thoughts as well. So then we will not be happy that a person next door didn't hear us altering our negative emotion or mischief. We want that these do not appear in the thoughts, that we do not even have an inkling of negativity within us. Then we are looking at benevolent use of mind and words. We are looking at truthfulness of words that are used. We are looking at stealing, but not only physical aspect of stealing, but also a mental aspect of stealing. So no stealing would be allowed in the world of living your highest potential. And then we are looking at purity and cleanliness from all sorts of aspects, from physical or mental or environmental. We are looking at sharing the kindness with all the creatures around. We're looking at the charity and working for the welfare of others, and being dutiful towards others. We're also looking at the mental balance, whatever the circumstances is, and sacrificing one's physical well-being to attain a spiritual goal, and would include fasting or looking at different efforts that one would perform to be able to have the spiritual practices. The effort will include anything from waking up earlier in the morning and sacrificing our sleep to be able to meditate, or going out to jog and giving yourself 1 hour of physical hardship jogging, so that we can attain our goal, a healthier body, a we will look into the nutrition. There would be some sacrifices made in respect of sweets and fat and unhealthy items that will be consciously taken out of the diet. At all these points we are looking at some sort of sacrifice for the well-being of our own being, for the well-being of our highest potential. Then we have a suggestion to study the philosophical scriptures and books that talk about spirituality, to study and to try to understand the truth behind dogmas, different religious eyes, and yet understand where the line that separates those dogmas from the truth of compassion and love and working on one's highest potential at all time really is. The scriptures will tell us about the humanity's search for truth. The scriptures will guide us to do our best to find out what is it that truth will bring to us, to our families, to our society. Reading and getting inspired by sages and gurus from the past is always a powerful experience, and it should become our norm. It should become the way that we inspire ourselves through our day-to-day life. Then there is also meditation that is suggested within this of rules, meditation that is regularly done twice a day, and devotion or faith towards God or divine. Now, devotion is our relationship towards divine. Devotion is our love towards divine. Whatever divine is in our opinion, we will use this power of devotion to lead us into beautiful meditation that bring expansion through our contact with nature. If we feel that nature is our divine, with our contact with the life flow, if we feel that life is our divine, towards our contact with universe, if we feel that universe is our divine. Devotion is our personal relationship, our personal love towards that divine. Hindus, with their rules of Jama and Yama, have actually given us hints onto how to live life and still have spiritual focus, how to live everyday life pure, so that we can stay in proper contact with our souls.